We have dug deep. We have people in Argentina, and we have more information about Liam Payne's death. And it is mysterious and really troubling and interesting all at the same time. So, this has to do today with a guy named Roger Norris. He was Liam's good friend who accompanied him to Buenos Aires. He is in the crosshairs of prosecutors now over alleged abandonment of Liam. That Liam's dad, according to the documents we've seen, claims that Roger was in charge of the care of Liam, knowing that Liam was in the throes of addiction and substance abuse.
Right. What Liam's dad had said is that Roger had volunteered basically to keep Liam on the straight and narrow. But prosecutors arrived at this abandonment charge after they saw basically an incredible bender, all the evidence of a bender that Liam went on in the day, starting the night before his death. And they claimed that Roger knew all about this and yet still left him an hour before his death.
And they have. Now, we're going to get into whether they've actually charged him with abandonment, which is a crime in Argentina. We will get into that in a minute. But in these documents, they outline the hours before Liam died in terms of what his state was. Because we know Roger is saying he was fine when I left.
At 4 o'clock.
Prosecutors have a different version of this because he died just after 5 p.m. So we're going to take you first to the night before, and this is what they laid out.
Right. 10 p.m., ordered 4 bottles of whiskey. Then at 6:36 a.m., ordered 5 more bottles of whiskey, and then texted Roger to say that he was going to have sex with a hooker. And then at 9:32 a.m., he texts Roger, "Can you get 6 grams?"
Clearly
presumably
referring to cocaine.
Yes. Then Roger, first of all, they had breakfast. Roger shows up at the hotel. They had breakfast in the room, and according to hotel staff who's told this to police, they had whiskey, or rather, Liam had whiskey with his breakfast.
Right. So Liam is on a bender here. So let's go back. So then
now,
at about
11:30,
11:30, these 2 prostitutes show up at the hotel.
What the prostitutes told police, they had sex with Liam, and then he asked them for cocaine, said that he'd run out, and then when they asked for payment, he got flipped out, got pissed off, broke
the TV,
television.
and we have pictures actually of this TV.
The broken television.
Yeah, he smashed the TV. So let's go on.
Now
we're getting toward the time of the fatal fall. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, he tells a hotel employee, "I'm going to need another 6 grams for today."
7 grams.
7 grams, excuse me, from today. 3:45, Roger Norris comes back to the hotel to pay the prostitutes. The hotel had actually contacted Roger.
Because Roger had told them that if you need anything,
call me.
Call me.
So they call him. He comes back to pay the prostitutes. 4 o'clock. Now, this is about an hour before Liam falls off that balcony. One of the staffers says he is visibly drunk with dilated pupils. 4:04, Roger leaves the hotel. This is about an hour before the fatal fall. And a housekeeper hears this loud breaking of objects inside the room. Liam was trashing the room. So now we get to the fact that Liam is going down to the lobby, causing a disturbance, and they end up picking him up forcibly by the arms and legs, putting him in the elevator, taking him up to the room. Liam then leaves the room the first time, goes back downstairs, according to these documents, passes out in the elevator, but then regains consciousness, goes into the lobby, and now you see these screen grabs from the surveillance video where they take him back up a second time.
Yeah. And that's when they put him in the room and they lock him in there, and that's when
they call 911. They say, "We're worried about the balcony," and then minutes later, he falls off the balcony.
So we should, as we said, Roger's story, people close to Roger said that what he told police is that when he left,
he was fine.
He was fine at 4 o'clock. I understand that he said that.
One
I-
of these
I
versions can't be right.
I mean, we just ran through everything that he was doing starting the night before. I don't know how someone is possibly, I mean, look, I don't know. I just don't know how you could be in your right mind after all of that.
So here's the twist in all of this. So the federal prosecutor in Argentina um, wants to charge Roger with both abandonment and supplying him with drugs. So we did a very deep dive, and it seems, based on what we know now from the documents, that a judge said to this federal prosecutor, you can't do this with abandonment. It's not a federal offense, it's a local issue. So the prosecutor seems to have lost the ability to prosecute him for abandonment federally, and the locals have done nothing. There still is this drug charge.
Right.
But I have to tell you, look, I'm a lawyer in America, and the system in Argentina, now that we've dug deep, is very hard to understand. But it looks like this federal prosecutor, even though they're saying, and we know they're saying this, we still have the case. It looks like they don't when it comes to abandonment.
Yeah, I don't. And because the local prosecutors haven't done anything, I just don't see how that's going to be something going forward. And it always seemed like a weird charge, right?
It seems like a very weird charge to me.
The other two people that were also charged, they haven't spoken out yet, or given their play-by-play as to what their turn of events were, or what their timeline was.
Charged mostly were for the drugs.
With the drugs. There's a waiter and a hotel employee. We know what the waiter is saying, that the waiter is saying, yeah, I did drugs with Liam, but I didn't sell them to him. So, now, you're right on this abandonment thing. I got to say, there is no formal document that a court issued saying you are the conservator of Liam. So Liam's dad is saying that Roger promised to do it, but then the issue is promised to do what? To be around him 24 hours? To do exactly what? To tell him you can't have drugs when he says, get out of my room, I want to be alone. So it seems really weird. It seems odd to me, given that there's no court order making him the caretaker for Liam, that they could pin that on him.
Right, and that's why it doesn't seem like this abandonment charge is going to go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Ashley from Chicago, and I'm feeling incredibly conflicted about this situation because on one hand, I'm sure the guilt that this man has to live with over knowing the role that he may or may not have played in his friend's death, that's worse than any prosecution you could ever get. But at the same time, I can't help but wonder if something nefarious is going on, because why would you leave a friend in a state like that? There's no way that he didn't know.
Yeah, and we know what Roger's answer to that is, which is Liam was a strong-willed person, and when he says, I want to be alone, he said, I'm a free man, and I can exercise free will. So what do you do in a situation like that? So I think that's where there's this big problem with abandonment.